They had wow even yet another overtake.
PitGirl question.
What would you like to ask?
So what have the other drivers been talking about on the radio?
Chris, Manuel Vargas is feeling good about his moves, while Michael Brake mentioned it was fun but tricky to pass. Colby Cabre admitted to some blocking confusion. Sounds like a classic mix of racing excitement and a bit of chaos. Chris had an overtake in lap 5. They had another overtake in lap 9.
Manuel just went wide. I thought they were going to give us more of a fight, but they never got that close again.
Chris had an incident in lap 11.
Question.
What would you like to ask?
What have the viewers been talking about in Twitch chat?
Well, labs are about as good as it
They
gets.
finished the race in position 6.
Yeah, it's hard.
Chris,
It's
Flippy00 thinks the racing was close
so
and
hard
has
to
your
pass
death
me.
race
It was
replay
fun
queued
to,
up.
sorry, Michael, for the
SCS
blocking when I
Osmoki
was
is noting
braking.
how
I
some
didn't know that was
drivers
a
are
thing
really
until now,
griping
to be
about
honest with you.
things. Sounds like the chat is enjoying the show.
All systems appear to be go. Well, they've been... I could ask her those kind of questions, but her ability to actually summarize or deal with the data was compromised. So over the last 2 days, I've restructured all that part of the messaging. If you're curious, I can actually show you what I mean, but they're not new features, but it is improved, certainly. So whenever PitGirl asks a question, I get a saved out curl version of the command. So I could rerun the commands. Like, if she gives us a weird response, I could run this from the command line and just see if it gives us the same response or debug into, why she was confused or making stuff up. But it starts off with a system message that gives her like the context of who PitGirl is as like her framework. And then there's user and assistant messages, which are the things that go back and forth as far as the ChatGPT API. So the user thing is the last question, and the response was, or the assistant was the reply. So we get those back and forth, and sometimes the users come from you guys in chat, and sometimes they come from me from the verbal, but it's just all the same assistant and user interaction. And then, so there's the assistant using stuff, and then there's a system message that has all the updates for like when we join sessions, and that just grows over the length of the stream. So it talks about like what sessions we joined, what kind of driver or what car, how many drivers, if it's a race, how long it's going to be. All of that data she gets as a system message. But see, Camo 123X is spam. PitGirl, select a Twitch chat viewer.
Which viewer or recent phrase?
Camo 123X.
Chris, the username is KAMO123X.
So I don't think Camo's trying to, actually sell me something that I want. So, PitGirl, ban the selected Twitch chat viewer.
Are you sure you want to ban KAMO123X?
Yes.
KAMO123X was banned successfully.
Bye-bye. Okay, so like I said, she gets a system message that's the session information about what we join. And then this is a radio message chunk. And that's the user or the driver, their car number, and what they said on the radio that comes back in the transcription. And I only put in the transcriptions that it actually gets a valid response from. There's a lot of them where in chat you just see 3 dots because either it was too short or the audio didn't come back or there was a problem. Calling about my vehicle warranty. Yeah. And then it also gets a separate system message that's about the Twitch chat. Yeah. So the Twitch chat and the radio messages used to be together, and it was just it was just free flow text that talked about it. So it was really hard for the AI to understand and get context out of that. But now these are structured JSON that have, more structure to them, and it's easier for the AI to get the actual data. And then like here, when you ask a question, this is like the snapshot she gets at that time. So it's like the most up to date, and it says it finished the race, position 6, with how many incidents and stuff like that. So if we were still driving in the race, I think it would have what our last lap was, what our best lap was, what our position, how many incidents, and all that. So that is a standard PitGirl message. One of the new features is asking her stuff about the schedule, though. So you could say things like, PitGirl, check the schedule.
What would you like to check?
When's the next opportunity to drive a Formula car at Suzuka?
Chris, the next opportunity to drive a Formula car at Suzuka is in the Formula C, Thrustmaster Dallara F3 series, starting at 9:15 p.m. Get ready to unleash some speed.
So that produces a different chat message. It gets the same system message about who she is, but it gets a different instruction specifically telling her that she's getting asked questions about the schedule. And then it has the question that I asked. When's the next opportunity to drive a Formula car at Suzuka in the beginning? Using this data. And then the rest of this data is what comes from the iRacing data API. And again, I used to have this structured as pretty much just text, but now it's segmented and it's well organized, so it groups all the races by time, and then has participation information in them, and then it also has, like, if they have weather, if anything's above 0 in the forecast, it calls it out. So, PitGirl, question?
What would you like to ask? I didn't get that.
And I sometimes forget whether I want to ask a question or a schedule thing because they're different commands. PitGirl, check the schedule.
What would you like to check?
Are there any races with just a slight chance of rain, like below 100 but more than 0?
Chris, here are the races with a slight chance of rain, below 100% but above 0, 9:15 p.m. Formula 1600 Rookie Sim Motion Series at Virginia
So she
International
can get
Raceway,
information out of it like
1%
that
chance,
way better than she could
9:45
before when it was
p.m.
just text.
FIA Formula 4 Challenge at Saxe-Enring, 4% chance, 10:15 p.m. Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, 1% chance, 10:30 p.m. Production
So let's take a
Car
quick
Sim
look at the
Lab Challenge
results.
at Nürburgring Nordschleife, 1% chance, 10:45 p.m. FIA Formula 4 Challenge at Saxe-Enring, 4% chance, 10:45 p.m. Formula C.
And normally I wouldn't ask that kind
Super
of a question,
Formula
but it was
Lights
just a
at Fuji
demo, and I'm
International
kind of surprised
Speedway,
she's going through all of them.
38% chance, 11 o'clock p.m. Global Mazda MX-5
So look at that,
Fanatec
plus
Cup
18.
at WeatherTech Raceway
We lost
at Laguna
so many
Seca,
IR last night
1%
in that
chance, Happy
Suzuka.
Racing.
Yeah, it's all good. She doesn't get tired like Siri does. Okay, so if you're curious, though, PitGirl, show usage. So that should spit out the link to the Discord that I've been setting up. There's only a few people. It's not a very active Discord. Don't get your hopes up, but it has some cool features that you might be interested in if you want to watch me. So if you go to Discord, there's the Roberts Mania Discord. It's at the top of my list. But when you come in, I encourage you to select this little roll with the race car, and that gives you the stream notifications. So you'll get a little ding when I actually start a broadcast. So it only dings it once per stream, but it then gets subsequent updates as far as like what we're joining and what we're doing. So it gets a little picture of the stream that's like at that time. And then a lot of the other stuff that also goes into Twitch chat while we're broadcasting gets sent out here to Discord. So if you're curious about PitGirl projects, the PitGirl channel has stuff where I just sort of blog about what I'm doing and changes that are going in. Schedule notifications is the other role that's here that I kind of discourage anybody from really signing up for because it's a lot of notifications. I made it for me, so it has a description of like all the series and stuff that I care about, and I adjust it on a weekly basis so that it has just what I care about. But it helps me like be more inclined to do races if I know that they're coming up or they're on, they're going to go official and stuff's happening. So don't sign up for schedule notifications. But if you go to schedule searches, there's a bunch of commands you can do, like next should show you the ones that it has participation data for and at least one person are signed up for. Up here in the little description, these are all the commands that it supports. So you can do search, give it some terms and an optional minimum participation. You can use next with a minimum participation. You can use schedule with a search term, or you can use track with a search term. So if you did next, and all the commands have an abbreviation where you can just do a single letter. So N0, especially like if I'm on my phone, I don't want to have to type next or whatever. So N0, this is pretty similar to the data that PitGirl gets. And when I originally set it up, PitGirl was just getting it like this, which is easy for a human to read, but it's a lot harder for the AI. So putting it in the JSON and getting it all hierarchical helps her answer the questions way more effectively. But basically, that's all the races from the race guide that you could see. So the other commands are like track. If you cared about Laguna Seca, for example, you can just get all the series that run at Laguna Seca and which weeks they run there. And if you wanted to see a schedule thing, you could say, like if you want to know where the radical is going, it'll give you the radical schedule. I mean, these are all things you could look up on the thing too or whatever, but it's for me, I wanted to be able to access it really easily on my phone when I'm out and about and stuff like that. And my goal was to build the schedule notifications. And because like the Lotus 79 series had a similar bot that gave all the notifications and stuff, but I wanted it for other series too. So I ended up just writing my own. So yeah, that's the Discord. The stream notifications, because a lot of people tell me, even though they follow me on Twitch, the way those notifications go out is unreliable. So if you sign into the Discord and you select the role for the stream notifications, you'll get a ding when I broadcast. And I promise I'm not going to like spam it or do too much there. But what I am spamming is Threads and Twitter. So if we go to Twitter and we look at my profile... Okay, I caught it while I was working on something in Visual Studio. So it sends out a tweet when we actually join race sessions. So it has the link to the stream, it has the title, it has the subject from when we joined the race session. And then while the race is going, that's not what I wanted. While the race is going, I have another account, Robert's Mania AI, that like chimes in and posts about the stuff about like when we finished and what our position was and stuff like that. And the same spam pretty much goes out to Threads. Oops, yeah, threads.net. And it gets the same kind of thing. But in Threads, with the API, another user cannot respond to a thread started by somebody else. And I don't know if that's just an attempt to keep down spam or whatever. So I have to use the same account on Threads for that. But yeah. So Flippy was saying that you were looking at the here was that video.
Far left rear. Still left rear. All clear.
Got killed.
Whoa,
Thank you.
shit.
Seeing yellow flag, man. Are you blind?
We're class position 20. Hit to repair the car. You have one behind you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a longer video on YouTube, which might be the one you're actually talking about. I had a part in it, but there was nowhere for me to go. Somebody ahead is not making it through. So I knew he was being aggressive, and I intended to let him go up the inside, but I expected he was going to go.
All clear.
At that point, the track actually gets narrower, and I had nowhere to go. And as soon as I touched the grass, it wasn't even voluntary that the steering wheel moved.
Class position 20.
So I do a replay while we're driving, and I nurse the car back to the pits.
Oh my God. People are so unprofessional.
Oh well. PitGirl, replay my car. PitGirl, replay my car.
Replaying you.
Grunge. I wish that showed a little bit more of the actual lead up. I suspect this is going to be too much damage, and I feel bad for the other people behind who also got taken out, but
Class position 19 now.
by that point I was a passenger, so there's not a whole lot I can do.
Oh my
18
God.
seconds
People
to
are
your
so
stall.
unprofessional.
Nothing to change in the stop.
I think there might be something to
11
change in the
seconds.
stop, PitGirl. And it sucked because it was like,
SCC.
just we're done. There was no repair option. Yeah, that wheel's just flopping around.
Damage is too severe. Game over.
Game over.
P18 in class.
Yeah, oh well. That had to happen. So I think we do a little bit more of a, actual replay. PitGirl, replay.
Replay scene.
Okay, short race recap. Started okay. PitGirl, set camera to chase.
Chase camera. Showing markers for the current car.
So it's the same guy there, car 13, that nearly killed us a few times even before we got number 13 who kills us. So he came close several times.
Don't get both of us, right?
Marker car filter cleared. Showing markers for the current car.
So I think I touched the grass, and that might have slowed us down to cause... I think it was more about the steering. Hit us
Class
really hard.
position 19 now.
Yeah, so I'm sure he feels like I came across in front of him, but the track literally changes at that point. So I think by definition, there isn't a car width there because I'm off the track and he's hitting me. But yeah. So, but he also couldn't really see that that's happening there anyway. So I mean, I had a part in it, but I don't know how I could have changed the situation because it's like I was already giving him as much room as I could, probably too much. Maybe that's it. If I stayed more mid-pack or middle of the track, he would have. I don't know.
Holy shit.
I'm saying yellow flag, man.
I mean, I feel worse for the people behind that got impacted by that. But yeah.
Oh my God. People
Anyway,
are so...
we've looked at it enough. Okay. I don't think I have it in me to do the 915 Suzuka race, so I'm going to sign off for now. But thanks a lot, guys. It's fun experimenting with the new PitGirl features and stuff like that. So thank you for helping me test. It is all good. Okay, see you, Smokey. Bye, Flippy. See you, Potato, if you're still here. PitGirl end stream. Drive safe.
Ending
Goodbye.
stream. Please remain calm.